Okay, forgot to turn this on. We have a lot to talk about. Holy shit. So, first of all, this is going to be a different stream than normal. Obviously, this is nothing like Arknights, this is nothing like Phasmophobia, this is nothing like whatever the heck you could think of. Today's stream is mostly going to revolve around the Game Awards and voting. There's a lot to talk about with that. But there's even more to talk about when it comes to YouTube, hence the whole, like, me kind of sidelining at the very end of the title, saying, YouTube's being stupid? Actually, yes, I think YouTube is actually going full-blown Ryoma in here, which is not good for anyone, because Twitch is, right now, currently doing the same. So, what the fuck is going on? Corporations being stupid. Let's just say that. Holy shit. Hey, welcome to the stream, Arun. How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. Today is a different stream, of course. There's a lot to talk about. There is a lot to talk about. But first of all, let's quickly sideline to YouTube real quick, because I want to mention this, because I guess this is something I just learned. Also, I will say this, I'll be playing music in the background. I'll be doing the Kingdom Hearts boss themes. It's pretty much on YouTube. It's a playlist that says that. That's what I'm gonna go based off. It's gonna be mostly battle themes. Hopefully just battle themes. And that's gonna be what's gonna be in the background, because there is no audio for the site of the Game Awards. Full disclosure, I guess. Since we're talking about that, let me get this started. Hopefully it's not too loud for you guys. Let's talk about YouTube. Did you know YouTube is probably going to be moving full screen mode? Did you know about that? I mean, lately I've been seeing stuff like YouTube is moving this, YouTube is moving that, and I am fully inclined to believe it. A lot of the things that I've seen in the last couple of months of YouTube will be changing to this has happened. And when I mean YouTube is Ryomaing itself, I mean YouTube is itself. And it's happening. I guess it's going to happen eventually, which is just mind-blowing that YouTube thinks it's a good idea to move full screen. What? Now, of course, it could be wrong, but from everything I've seen so far of what YouTube is changing, mostly been 100% correct. So, it's hard to really take it a grain of salt, but who knows, maybe YouTube will go back on their plans, maybe people will say you're a dumb fuck. We'll see. And yes, that I am literally saying to the host website that I'm on right now that they're dumb. And I think that is fair criticism. But, joking aside, I know that's not the main focus of the stream, focusing on the Game Awards. I just wanted to mention that because learning that just as I'm about to start the stream, by the way. I literally just learned that like a couple of minutes ago. It's like, bro, what the fuck is going on with YouTube? I'm generally being serious when I say that. Anyway, I wanted to do this today because, granted, I probably could do other stuff, especially in Arknights, but I just wanted to do this just to talk about games. Just gaming in general, talking about games, talking about my opinions on things. Of course, it's obvious it's going to be a stream that's going to be about my opinions. You're probably going to not agree. Just going to say that off the bat. I know a lot of people are not going to agree. I know a lot of things that have went down for the nominees has caused a lot of controversy. That's the main reason why I'm doing it, because this is my first time voting for the Game Awards, by the way. Regardless, I do want to talk about it. I do want to vote. I do want to talk about gaming in general, and this is something that, honestly, I need to do more of, because I just don't do Arknights. Believe it or not, I mean, obviously I've done other games on the channel before, especially on YouTube, like, Phasmophobia. I did Terraria in the past, but that's mostly common. Used to be like Fire Emblem Heroes and Sword Art Online a lot in the past too, but I've been trying to do more things, but if you see my catalog of games I've played, you realize that I barely show games I play on the stream. And that's mostly because I think a lot of the time, it's more preferable to play games without streaming than streaming. But there are some games that I think are better streamed than not. And that's different for different people, and it gets a bit more depending upon the person type deal. And for me, sometimes I like to stream games that are horror. I think that's just better off embracing the horror as a community than just by myself. I think that does kind of help with that. That's kind of the main reason why. But at the same time, I'm thinking like this maybe in the future challenge type deal, like maybe doing achievements or whatnot. That's something I've been thinking about more and more. And it's just actually getting around to doing that than just Arknights. Arknights, there's a reason why it's mostly taken most of the time of content creation, videos, streaming. The fact that I'm not doing any Hoyoverse games should tell you everything. Or maybe not, because you don't know anything about Arknights. I strongly suggest playing it. I'll be talking about it a lot, but it's not going to be the main focus, because there's other games I play than just Arknights. And that's kind of the main gist of the stream, is get my opinions out there, regardless if you like them or don't, and talking about games, essentially. That's the main focus. Not about you two making stupid decisions. Let's get straight into it. Of course, I kind of went into it just kind of seeing if I could do it right now. Yes, anyone can vote right now. We have about 2 weeks, more than 2 weeks, 3 weeks actually. That's like 23 days or something like that. So like, yeah, we have a decent while before the awards happen. To me, I'm gonna say this right now. I do not like the Game Awards. While I like it for entertainment, and I've watched it before, I do not like the way they go about the Game Awards. I think it's really stupid. I think it is very, brain dead chimpanzee mentality that we see a lot. I mean, you see it a lot in social media, where you pick a group, you pick a side, and then you have fights against each other because I'm an animal mentality that people don't realize that a lot of time they get into. And this is a bit of a critique on all Game Awards shows and anything with the sort of that in mind. I'm not a big fan of it. I feel like it's just worthless because everyone is subjective to what they think is good or not. And opinion, my bad. I don't know why I said subjective, but I guess I could work too. But because of how everyone thinks and how everyone is generally different to an extent, a lot of people are going to like something different than other. And I feel like any awards type in general, I don't think is fair to everyone. Unless everyone can agree on something. Yeah, back to Arknights. You literally missed the best banner the game has ever brought out. You barely just missed the banner by a couple of days. Or like a week. Over a week almost at this point. You missed the Rizadel and the Logos banner. The most, like, 2 characters that pretty much are meta, hit hard, are really good. Except one of them is like the best DPS and the other one has like extremely good DPS that also has unique tools with each skill that is worth maxing out. So you missed by far one of the best banners in Arknights. I know it's like, this is like the worst time to be saying that because you literally just missed like the best banner. And it's like, Arknights is still a good game whenever you come back to it, but in terms of like, if you want to come back to banners that are like really good with characters, you missed out. Big time. But if you don't really care about Rizadel and Logos, I mean, there's future limiteds in the future coming out, like 3 months from now is Pepe and the horse girl. And then we have not Texas, La Blonde Altar, Crown Slayer, and Suzerain's Mother. That's how I'm naming all of them. So like, if any of that sounds interesting, about 6 months from now, that's coming out. The boss music is a fucking banger, better than the last Circusen event. So to me, I'm really excited 6 months from now. There is a current game mode right now for co-op. If you liked co-op, there's a new co-op event going on right now, called the something games. I can't remember right now. Also, I know they keep adding new game modes just to try it out and see how people feel. We're probably not gonna get a CC in the next 6 months plus, because they have not yet announced another CC. So it's probably a year from now that we might get another CC. What else? IS5 is coming out in the near future. Openness, the next Abyssal Hunter is coming out. Probably in the next event or two. Trying to not forget anything else. Icebreaker games, yeah. I mean, just for that, I would play just for the Icebreaker games, just to co-op with someone. Because it's like, I wish it was permanent. It's not. It's only for 2 weeks. Which I think kind of bamboozled a lot of the community, or at least it bamboozled me when I figured that out, so. Anyway. We will continually do that. I'll continue to talk about Arknights from time to time, especially if the question comes up. But we will get into it here. I don't think I need to mention anything else. Music is Kingdom Hearts battles and boss themes. And let's get into it. I know I kind of already did, just got to see if it works, and it does. So, the game of the year. Okay, before we get into the voting session, I want to go back to talking about this in general. Well, I did heavily mention or talk about the fact that it really doesn't matter of Game Awards anyway, because everyone has their own ideas on games like that. The other thing to note is that when it actually comes to the voting system, the only vote that matters is the first one they give you, Game of the Year. All the other votes are skewed heavily against the voters. The other votes are essentially going to be chosen and are pretty much a lie. They're going to be chosen by journalists. They're going to be chosen that pretty much people that don't really care about gamers at all. And this shouldn't be surprising. This is something I've known since 2017. This is why I've also never cared about too much about the Game Awards specifically, because I knew it was really skewed against the whole idea of it trying to vote in to begin with. So that's why I personally don't really care about doing this in as a let's vote for the Game Awards. No, this is more of me just talking about games, and that's why that's the main focus. So, without further ado, this is me of talking about the games, have I played them or not, and my thoughts, and yada yada yada. It's going to be opinion-based, so there's going to be a lot of talking. Again, if you don't care about opinions, you can leave if you want. I strongly suggest that this probably is going to be a boring stream. Regardless, let's actually get to it. Okay, I know I wanted to mention that because it was very important to mention for those that are unaware of the voting system and how Game of the Year is per se the only voting system that actually matters. So the other votes are just nothingness. They don't worth anything, because the votes of the entire world only account to 1/10 of the votes, compared to actually being who wins with what vote system, you know? Anyway, I know that's kind of confusing if you don't understand, but I think there's a lot of people that probably do a lot better at explaining it. But essentially, aside from Game of the Year, don't worry about the results of the others, because they don't matter. Because they're basically chosen by groups of people, not by you, the voter. Anyway. It's not a full democratic republic. Not Republican. Republic. Anyway, it's not the United States, is pretty much what I'm trying to say. I mean, it is based in the United States, but it's not the United States election. So, anyway. But the games this time, I know people are going crazy. Mostly looking at the DLC. To me, I'm gonna have a hot take that people are going to hate. And it's not based off the DLC for Elden Ring. Because yeah, I agree with that. I don't agree with remakes. That also means my favorite all-time remake, Resident Evil 4 remake, I would also not count for Game of the Year. Because it is essentially still a remake at the very end of the day. If you're gonna call it a remake, no matter how much difference is between the original and this new revision, to me, you're not really changing anything. I mean, sure, you change the story, you may change whatever, but at that point, if you're gonna change so much, you might as well call it a different game. I know, people are going to hate me with that take, but if we're gonna base off of, like, a voting system, I would rather have new games instead of remakes, remasters, and DLCs. Personally. That's what I think. I do not like these two as options. As much as they may have changed enough, I've played the original, not the original, the remake, the actual Final Fantasy VII remake. I understand, I've seen the gameplay of the originals. I understand the thought process, and I can completely understand why people would allow remakes that change enough. But at the same time, this is another issue with this. It's a slippery slope. You can make a remake, not be a remake and a remaster, and call it a remake just to get another reward. Trust me, it is going to happen. And people are going to flip their shit. And then they're going to say, well, you can't say that because the last ones had remakes. That's going to be an argument that's going to be thrown out. I can guarantee you this. It may not happen next year, but maybe a couple years from now. And yeah, that's the two reasons why not with remakes. I don't care. I get rid of remakes. The one that's not really that original enough to be considered compared to a new game, and I can understand why people would say it's indifferent enough from the original. Fair enough. But the second argument is it's a slippery slope. It can easily be a slippery slope where remakes or remasters are not changed enough to be considered in the list, be on the list, and possibly win. You could see a lot of people being angry about that, and I could see that being a reality. So I'm not going to be voting for these two. Now I'm also going to hurt people's feelings and also make people angry that I've only played one game from this list. For someone who does have a huge catalog, I do not have the money to play every single new game that comes out that's even above $40. So, Balatro, Black Luther Kong, Metaphor Refrantizio, I cannot get it all because I don't have the money. Right now, I'm kind of screwed because one of my family members is in a different state right now, taking care of another. We have pretty much earning less money, so now the majority of our bills, though, have to be paid from each check. I know. You don't want to hear this shit. But just to give an idea that it's like, I barely have the money to send or buy another game right now. So when it comes to Black Luther Kong, Metaphor Fantasio, Balatro, I can't unfortunately play the game to give my opinion on it. And that is unfortunately probably the case for a lot of people. They probably won't play a game for whatever reason, and they won't choose it, maybe it being superior. Who knows? So with that in mind, I feel like a lot of the votes honestly are just going to be kind of rigged or unfair to begin with, but that's another story for another time. Or another video, I should say, if I really needed to make another video talking about that. Regardless. So, it's very obvious of which one I'm going to go for. Astrobot. You thought I was going to say something different. I've actually 100% done Astrobot. Astrobot was one of those games that I saw earlier on that I knew I wanted to get. I finished the original before they updated the game. That came with every PS5. I got the PS5 in 2021. So, to me, the fact that they announced it, I was like, I'm getting that day one. I'm playing that bitch. I know it's gonna be fucking amazing. And it fucking was. It is probably the best platformer I've ever played. And I don't say that lightly. I'm not a platformer player. My fucking goodness, this game is mwah, in terms of gameplay and feel. It is, I could bet you it has better feeling gameplay than Elden Ring. Even though I probably wouldn't play Elden Ring. It is just that good. It is that, like, the fact that I can go ham on how it feels to play says a lot, in my opinion. And hopefully for your guys' opinion and viewpoints, it is amazing. And then I'm discrediting all the other good things about the game. There might be other things that people like about the other game, but gosh dang it, Astrobot, the gameplay, the music, how it feels, it's just so fucking amazing. And of course they had free DLC of speedruns, so speedrun community is getting juice, and the DLC wasn't that bad. I mean, it is what it is. I'm not gonna say it's like really bad or anything. I think it was actually pretty interesting. Interesting way to unlock characters as a speedrun, and then there's like an in-game timer of how fast you need to be to be able to get all of them, and they kind of test with each of the essentially abilities in the game to be fast. Overall, Astrobot by hands down, if I had like out of this options, Astrobot 100%. Now, here's the twist. Here's the twist. Is Astrobot actually Game of the Year, period, for me? For all the new games that came out this year, that I played this year, were all of them any other games that could be considered contender of Game of the Year? I actually got to think about this for a minute, because it's like, okay, which games did I play this year that also came out this year? Honestly, Astrobot's like the only one that really comes to mind as a new game. I'm not gonna say ZZZ. Fuck ZZZ. Not because it's bad, but like there's way better mobile games in general. And when I say that, that says something. Again, I'm not gonna reiterate that because I'm gonna say that a lot. I'm gonna have to look into Steam here. I don't think I've. Well, unfortunately, Decimate Drive wouldn't count because it came out in 2023. So I'm not gonna say that. Honestly, in terms of a new game, I don't really think anything comes to mind. It's like, I'm trying, but if there's any games I played, a lot of it actually came out years ago, or like early, like maybe Decimate Drive early. When did Decimate Drive release? Let me see. Devlog. February 26. Is that 2024? Well, even though I like Decimate Drive, I wouldn't really consider it as better than Astrobot. I'm sorry. I like Decimate Drive a lot. Don't get me wrong. I did a lot for the game. I made like an entire video of all the collectibles that no one else did before. I did some speedruns of the game. And while I liked it, I'm gonna say Astrobot was still better. I'm trying to think if there's any others. I'm being stupid. Dragon Age 2. I'm being so stupid. There's Dragon Age 2 as well. Would I consider Dragon Age 2? No. I like the original so much I finished it before Dragon Age 2. I have yet to go back to Dragon Age 2. Not because of the gameplay or anything like that. I just haven't gone back to the game. Simple as that. I know it's different for different people for different reasons on Dragon Age 2. But no. I would probably play it again. I'm not interested in playing it right now. I think that's a lot for gamers. Sometimes they just get interested in playing other games, and they just have to get re-interested in playing it after a certain point. There's some other games I'm thinking of right now that I'm like, nowhere even close. Shouldn't even be thinking of Game of the Year that I played that I came out this year. So I'm not gonna count those. I would have to turn on the PS5 just to go through the catalog and see. Yeah, honestly, while there is some games I can think about, I don't think I played or enjoyed as much as I was, except Astrobot. I think Astrobot by far this year was probably the most fun game I've played. So I'm gonna go with Astrobot. Best game direction, awarded for insane creative vision and innovation in the gaming direction and design. I would say Dragon Age 2. I didn't say Dragon Age 2. Fuck, Dragon's Dogma 2. Ugh. Bro, I got the dragons to change. Astrobot, I think it's just an upgraded version of the PS5 version, but added more to it. So I can't really say Astrobot. I mean, everything else, like the gameplay, the music, is fantastic. But if you're gonna go for creative vision, probably not. I would not go Final Fantasy VII. No, hell no. It's just pretty much, I think, an upgraded. Probably, just from my scene alone, there's some probably new additions for the gameplay, but I feel like it's also at the same time a lot copied from the first Final Fantasy in terms of some similar mechanics. I cannot say any other game, personally. I feel like this is kind of like a fuck me moment because I can't really say anything about the other games. I heard a lot about Metaphor and Fantasia when it comes to this idea. I mean, Black Myth Wukong, I don't think we'll take it. I don't know about Balatro. I can't say much about Elden Ring. I'm gonna say I'm probably gonna go for a Metaphor with Fantasio if I haven't played it, but from what I've heard, I feel like this probably goes to this one. Best narrative. Probably not Silent Hill, not Final Fantasy. Silent Hill is literally a remake. It's even worse position than Final Fantasy VII. Boy, I'm surprised that hasn't gotten as much flack as the others. So I'm gonna say no. I would have actually bought or gotten Silent Hill 2 if it wasn't for the fact that they butchered the original, and the fact that I'm paying attention to what people say. Like, if you're going to change the game to fit an audience and completely change the vision of what it used to be, and if the original vision was a masterpiece, why change it? I I don't know about Hellblade 2. I did play a little bit of Like a Dragon, or Yukaza Like a Dragon, I think it was. The predecessor to Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. But I personally have not gone through the tutorial. Another one of those games that I'll probably go back to, and I might actually enjoy a lot. We'll see. I am really interested in the next one, actually. So, extremely interested in the next one, even though it's probably not, like, I'm gonna be missing a lot of certain lore beats. But, regardless. So, it's probably at this point, I don't know about Like a Dragon, or any of these, honestly. Honestly, I can't really be fair in this decision. I heard a lot of good things about Metaphor Fantasio. Not so much gameplay, but maybe the story's good on that. I don't know. And Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, don't know either. I'm gonna go in Fantasio. I'll do all three. I'll do all three. Balancing creative and technical achievement and artistic design and animation. I have not played Neva, but probably not. Metaphor Fantasio, I can't say fully like the others, except Astrobot. I played Astrobot. I think Astrobot looked pretty fucking good. I'm gonna be really honest. I'm gonna go Astrobot. Best score and music. What are we talking about? Okay, let's actually go over everything else. Silent Hill 2, Saint and Rebirth. No, they might have good music and probably good remakes, but no. Stellar Blade would be my second choice. If Astrobot wasn't, it would be Stellar Blade. I've heard some of the songs. From the few I've heard, without actually playing the game myself or anything like that, they are banging. They bang. I can't say anything about Metaphor Fantasio though. So probably these three. Again, the whole remake deal, I'm not gonna worry about it. But I probably, if not Astrobot, I probably would go for Stellar Blade because I did hear a few of the tracks in there, and some of them were bangers. So I'm gonna go Astrobot, but best audio design. Recognize the best in the game in audio design, bro. This is not even a joke. Astrobot completely slaps all these. I'm gonna be brutally honest here. Astrobot has done more with the PlayStation controller than any of these fucking games will ever do in their lifetime. I am sorry, but these games should not even be on this list. Because when the controller does perfectly with the audio of the game, Kingdom Hearts 3 does a better fucking job than any of these other games aside from Astrobot. And Kingdom Hearts 3! And I think that Kingdom Hearts 3 is the worst Kingdom Hearts game in the series. In a lot of respects. I know people are gonna hate with that opinion. But there's like I could go over that. I'm not gonna go right now, but Astrobot, 100%. Especially with the use of the controller. I know there's a lot of other things I can mention about the controller use of the game that I haven't barely talked about down until just now. But the fact that you essentially can hear where he steps on, and the, like, a little bit of essentially that, as you kind of, like, feel it, but hear it at the same time, of him interacting with the world in-game. And these games have somehow similar features. I can guarantee you no. No. They might have, like, good background audio, but you're gonna need a lot more than to beat that for Astrobot, in my opinion. So I'm going to Astrobot. No, that's not even a close one. If I had to say, Astrobot is probably, in terms of music and audio, the best game I played this year. Hands down. Not talking about Arknights, because Arknights certainly is 2017 or 2019, whatever you like to go about it, or 2020, but that's an entirely different story. Alright. Best performance. Awarded to an individual for voice acting, motion, and whole performance capture. Star Wars bro. Star Wars Outlaws? Why is Star Wars out here? Like, they don't want to show the games, they do the actor instead. Brianna Wright, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Life is Strange. None of these characters, I can't say much. I honestly, being brutally fair, I cannot say anything with these voice actors. I would much rather prefer to say, oh, hey, these voice actors in a mobile game do a better job. Because they play... The developers, or the publishers, whoever does it, go out of their way to get accented English for the English language for characters in certain regions that are similar to our world. For example, you may have this person that speaks Spanish that might have a Spanish accent, but at the same time also speak Spanish for the English VA. Hella amazing! Hella amazing! You have, like, I could go on and on and on about Arknights VAs and how it crushes most modern game VAs, even other mobile games like Hoyoverse games. Arknights VA cast roles, for the most part, have been so fucking fire, they completely destroy Hoyoverses. End of story. End of fucking story. And the fact that people go crazy for those games, I'm sorry. I feel like if I go with Arknights, Arknights should be here, but obviously that's a mobile game, and it's not this year. So, with that out of the way, that's based off of what people feel generally for the game. Star Wars Outlaws, from what I heard, is a joke at this point. It's a laughingstock. We're not gonna take that into consideration. I'm sorry, third contestant, but you got shat on because of poor developers. Luke Robarts is probably the main character from Silent Hill 2. He probably does a good job. So maybe least be partial possibility. I can't say about Hellblade 2's either, or Rebirths, or Life is Strange. So you know what we're gonna do? Yeah, welcome to the stream, Yaniv. Unfortunately, the issue is that the votes, aside from, like, the Game of the Year, will be done by publishers. Not publishers, what I'm saying. It won't be the voters. Because we barely make a dent in towards the decision of who gets it. It's mostly going to be, journalists, publications, and all that stuff. They have a list. They did have a list out there that they completely scrubbed because everyone was going freaking out on who is the voters, or the ones who are choosing aside from the Game of the Year. Which I bet you Star Wars Outlaws is going to win. 100%. I believe Humberly is going to win. Just saying that right now. You know, like, the fact that they went hard on Star Wars Outlaws and it flopped so damn hard, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's their game show. Aside from, like, a video game... actual video game of the year, that's personally who I think will win. I know I'm being, like, rude when saying that, but this is just being realistic. Knowing the Game Awards, I could see her winning. But if I had to choose, random number generator, because I don't really know, I think all of them could be interesting. So we're gonna keep generating. I'm looking away. I'm looking at the camera. Oh, okay. Milia Jiggers. Sorry, I mispronounced your name. Sorry, girl. Hellblade 2. Congrats. Innovation in accessibility. Recognizing software and/or hardware that is pushing the medium forward by adding features, technology, and content to help games be played and enjoyed by a wider audience. I'm dying. Okay, this is probably the worst list I've seen so far. Oh my goodness. We already talked about Star Wars Outlaws. Dragon Age: The Veilguard is in a similar level, but which game was it that's selling decent? Which game was that? And people thought it was not going to sell well. I think Dragon Age was it? I don't think it was Dragon Age. I can't remember now who it was. The game that was like doing decent. No. Oh shit. Let me see. I could probably look it up right now. Lower the volume. Oh, that's funny. I'd actually... Okay, so I just randomly saw a YouTube thumbnail that says, I beat every video game ad. I have been a video game ad before. Real Good Combat is not much liked. It's because it changes too much from the regular formula of what Dragon Age was. That's the only issue. Which I can understand, that argument. Even though some people find it fun, I can understand why people will say, this is not Dragon Age. And I can understand that. I look at Resident Evil 6 as a good example of that, or Fossil Fighters Frontiers. But Fossil Fighters Frontiers changes so fucking much that at that point it's not even Fossil Fighters anymore. You can have like the name of it and you can be similar or somewhat similar. Not Fossil Fighters Frontiers. Fuck that game. I am sorry, I love the first two Fossil Fighters. Fuck Frontiers for killing the franchise. Anyway, I'm trying to find... That's not helpful. Okay, let me see here. Which game was it? Oh, Dragon Quest. The third semi 2D remake did a lot better than what people were thinking because of nostalgia. That's what it was. That was the game. It's not on this list, but that was the game that a lot of people thought was gonna flop because of the censorship. But because it is such a beloved franchise, even with all the modern censorship, it still sold decently well. So they might still make their money back from the game, even though with the massive censorship compared to the original game. So... Anyway, that's the game I was thinking of. It was nothing like Dragon Age: The Veilguard. Not gonna do Star Wars, not gonna do Dragon Age: The Veilguard. I don't know, I'm surprised people still like Diablo. Like, the Diablo series at this point is so money hungry that I thought the series would be dead by now. And then seeing Diablo 4, I'm not gonna go for that, unfortunately. I think Blizzard has been a little too money hungry. Comes down to Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, or Birds of Persia. Honestly, I don't know what to choose here, because on it, I don't know if they really have, and I doubt they have great enough innovation and accessibility. I feel like some older games did a perfect job on this, especially games that I don't really care about. I heard have pretty good accessibility use, but obviously they weren't released this year, so you can understand the thought process of why I'm like, I don't think any of these games critique as like the best of the best. Let me go 1 to 2, and okay, I'm just gonna keep generating. Look away, and it's a 1. Congrats, Call of Duty. You get a vote. Games for Impact. For a thought-provoking game with a pro-social meaning and message. Closer the Distance. Indica. Neva. Life is Strange. Sweeney Sagas. Lovely 2. And Tales of Kinzera. Honestly, I don't know. This is really one of those, none of this list, I can't really say for certain. If I had to choose anything, I think Arknights has done the most when it comes to thought-provoking. The idea, like, not so much of a pro-social meaning or message, but more of, like, thought-provoking. Especially with the recent story bits, especially with Babel and episode 14. So with that, like, again, that's like nowhere close to this. I'm probably gonna go with Neva. I'm gonna go with Neva. Out of all of them, still go with that one. Not so much Random RNG, unfortunately, but best ongoing. Awarded for a game for outstanding development of ongoing content that evolves the player experience over time. Final Fantasy VI, Destiny 2, Diablo 4, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2. Now, I would put Arknights if it wasn't for the fact that Arknights, I don't think, does enough innovation sometimes. I've seen Fortnite do a lot more. I'm sorry, Hypergriff. Sorry, Hypergriff. I love you to bits, and you do improve. But Fortnite does more than you. I'm sorry. But if I had to choose, it'd be Fortnite. I'm just gonna say this right now. So, first of all, Destiny 2, get this out of here. Get this trash out of here. Diablo 4, again, get this out of here. These three would probably be essentially a war zone, essentially, of who would people choose. I can't say much about Final Fantasy, but I know a lot of people like it. Helldivers 2, I haven't played it myself. The game has been a rocky hill. It's gone from good, bad, good, now back to bad. So, I feel like Helldivers 2 is the least likely to get it. I personally think it's going to be Fortnite. I would like to choose Arknights, but obviously I've said many times before that wouldn't be possible, but Fortnite, I think, out of the list. I can even acknowledge that. Best community support. Recognizing the game for outstanding community support, transparency, and responsiveness, inclusion of social media activity, and game updates / patches. I would say Terraria, by the way, but the fact that you have No Man's Sky but not Terraria, what the fuck? I feel like Terraria is in a weird space, though, because I would like to say Terraria, but they had a big controversy recently with the menu creation character. I'm not going to go into that right here. So the fact that it's like, yeah, Fortnite here, and you have Final Fantasy here. It makes sense for like Helldivers 2 and Baldur's Gate because it's this year. I feel like best community support should be of 2024. Use them for something, etc. They copyright me. Okay, the whole copyright situation for games is really complicated. If you're doing it for non-profit and you're not creating it to base it off of something. Okay, so my thought process is like, it's really difficult because it's going to be like a moral question too, depending upon what you're making it for. Like if you're going to do something like the Power World did, then it's going to be a moral question more than a copyright question. But then again, Power World's getting fucked over by Nintendo for a different entire reason than maybe design copyright issues. But aside from that, I'm gonna let you know right now, you will probably be banned. You will be banned. What am I saying? It's not gonna be a copyright issue. So if you make a custom skin for your game, you will be banned because you're altering the game. If you play the game offline, or do some way to have an offline version, you won't get banned. I'm just saying this to you right now, for you right now, is if you alter anything in the game, you will get banned. Even if, in general, it wouldn't affect other players. I'm just letting you know now. That's not so much a copyright thing, that is more of an altering of the game's code, fuck you. You will be banned. So I would be very careful doing that. League of Legends or other story-related game suits. Oh, yeah. I mean, if it's not, you're not selling it, and it's more of like a fan mod thing, you should be fine. I know people have made Arknights mods for Terraria. So I'm gonna tell you right now, making a mod or modding different games to have like the Arknights skins, for the most part, I don't think they're gonna go after you. Trust me, I played Minecraft mods, not Minecraft, Terraria mods that have Arknights mods in with other mods. So I'm letting you know, especially in like, not even just mods, but like texture packs for Terraria also have characters change into like an Arknights variants. Not actually being a mod, but like a texture pack. So that's something that also is possible too. Anyway, so going back to this should be just for 2024. Because this is like, yes, you will have the whole ongoing stuff, but this is not ongoing. This is best community. So, Final Fantasy VII, or not Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky should not even be on this list. Which is kind of weird that they kind of just ignore that. So, like, if people could do it on Terraria, if you do make a mod or a texture pack in another game, they're not gonna go after you if you don't sell it. If you try to sell it, they'll probably go after you if you get big enough or if you get notoriety because of it. So don't put it for sale and make it for free. You should be fine. Players want. I can't really say of the two, but because of what Sony did to Helldivers, I'm gonna probably go with Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, I'm gonna go with Baldur's Gate 3. Dun 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 dun. Oh, good ass. Kingdom Hearts. Chain of Memories music. Okay. Best independent game for outstanding creative and technological achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. Lurline, the Laser Eyes, Neva, UFO 50. I've kind of seen this a little bit around YouTube, but I honestly can't say much about it. I have not seen anything Balter. I've seen a little bit of Animal Well. It's kind of like, it's even a little bit more than UF50, but not a lot. I have like barely seen any gameplay. There's like a tiny bit because people talk about it. Same thing for Neva. Like, none of these games I've actually played myself. I personally can't say anything of any of them, even for Neva. So this is gonna be random number generation again. Okay, I'm gonna look away. Look at the camera. And 1. Again. No, fuck it. We're gonna generate it once more. 3. Cool, bro. I don't want to get run again. Best debut indie game. Animal Well, Baltoro, Manor Lords. I can't say much about that. Pacific Gym. I've seen a little bit of gameplay, but I can't say about that. This is my sister's phone that she gave to me when my phone started not working properly. So yeah, it's a Galaxy Z Flip Phone 2. Essentially, it's like Galaxy Z2 flip phone. So it's like you can have it like this, or you can have it as like a bigger screen. And the Plucky Squire. Plucky Squire is one of those games I actually did want to get and play, but I just don't have the money. That is one of those games I wanted to get. Like, I'm telling you, I don't have the money to get some of these games. But is it the best indie debut? If it wasn't for the fact that I'm trying to think of the game right now. My brain's being stupid. Shadows of Doubt came out last year. I would say Shadows of Doubt, 100%. Unfortunately, that's not the case. There's other games that I've been playing recently that I got some time ago that I could probably make the argument of, but I think they came out some years ago as well. Shoot. I'm gonna say it's probably the Plucky Squire. Can't say much about Balatro. Can't say much about Well, Mandalorian, and Pacific Drive. I really wanted to get play this. Pacific Drive was one of those games at one point I thought about, but I was like, nah. I might have enjoyed it, but the Plucky Squire. Best mobile game. Guys. You see this game right here? This mobile game that's better than any other mobile game I played? Yeah, you see that right there? That Arknights? Arknights! Yeah, Honkai Star Rail is not here because it's Zenless Zone Zero. Zenless Zone Zero is worse than Honkai Star Rail. Even though I think the gameplay is cooler, a lot of people hate Zenless Zone Zero more. Even though Zenless Zone Zero technically, in actuality, is really popular too. Arc Journey is an interesting thing because I think they remade the game that's based off of this. But overall, nah. I don't even know if that's even a mobile game. What the hell is a Pokemon game here? I'm sorry, but no. Why do we have Wuthering Waves? I mean, just the fact that we have a Hoyoverse and a Hoyoverse copier, and then I say all the stuff I've said before already. You guys already know I'm gonna go Arknights. And I don't want to go any of these games. I do not want to go for any of these games. Except for Balturo, because I don't know what it is. Yeah. Even though I am a Pokemon fan and I play Pokemon, I don't care about the trading card game. I think it's way better to have it physically than mobile and digitally. I feel like it's kind of redundant. And I personally think it is on purpose they made it digitally. Especially when this game disappears. There's the whole the card aspect got out of the water. Unless they don't, but I don't know. It depends. Like, some mobile games all over the place when they end of service. I am so sorry, but I'm gonna go with Baltro. If I had to choose, if any game, it would be Arknights. Best VR AR. A remake? Honestly, I don't know. I'm just gonna look at the camera. Continue to generate, and it's a 2! Batman! Congrats! Best action game. I think Call of Duty is gonna win this one. I'm saying that right now. All these other games, maybe aside from Helldivers 2, would be instant because most of the people that are choosing the games don't like. They don't like Black Myth Wukong. Like, most of them hate Black Myth Wukong. Warhammer 2 is second in that place, tied with Stellar Blade. I'm just choosing what I think would win at this point. But that's not what I'm gonna choose. I would take out Call of Duty. Yeah, I guess we'll just generate again. Honestly, I don't really have a good choice. Like, I think Black Myth Wukong, Helldivers 2, so, and I mean, you can debate on Helldivers 2 because I don't think that's really the best way to say action game. I mean, it comes down to action combat or action in terms of, like, shooting. I guess you could probably put Black Myth Wukong or Stellar Blade as the most likely picks of this for players. More so than Warhammer and Helldivers 2. Okay, I'm gonna look away. Look at the camera. 1. Black Myth Wukong! Congrats! Best action adventure. Oh, this one's actually gonna be a difficult one because it's gonna be Astrobot and Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. I have not played it, but I bet you, this is one of those games I was thinking of probably getting, but again, money issues. It was like least on my list, but was interesting nevertheless. Star Wars Outward, get out of here. Silent Hill, third place, at least. Don't know about. I can't really say that about much about Prince of Persia, but maybe some people like it. But if I'm gonna choose, I'm gonna choose Astrobot. I'm sorry. But second, I could see Echoes, Legends of Zelda, Echoes. Best RPG. For the best game design with rich player customization and progression, including massive multiplayer experience. Well, I'm gonna say this right now, there shouldn't be massive multiplayer experiences. Because it's not MMORPG. It's an RPG. Specifically, RPG. And it's not, most of these games might have multiplayer, but I don't think multiplayer is in that RPG. You know, I'm trying to get at. And that shouldn't really be a reasoning for best RPG. That should not be a reasoning. Anyway, aside from the roasting of how they're going about this, Elden Ring, get out of here. Final Fantasy, get out of here. I have not played Like a Dragon, but I know a lot of people got angry at the game because they forced microtransactions to be able to do a new game. New Game Plus or something like that. Like they had locked New Game Plus behind microtransaction. So probably not Like a Dragon. So it's either going to be Dragon's Dogma 2 or Metaphor and Fantozio. A lot of people hated way too much on Dragon's Dogma 2, but I don't think it's as bad as people make it out to be. I just haven't gone back to play it. But I can't say anything about Metaphor and Fantozio anyway, myself. If I had to say the best RPG, it'd be Kingdom Hearts 2. And Kingdom Hearts 2 came out in 2005. So obviously that doesn't count. So if I had to choose, Dragon's Dogma 2. Best fighting. It's designed primarily around head-to-head combat. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy vs. Rising, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classic. That's just a remake, kinda. It's like a port, honestly. I wouldn't consider that. Marta vs. and Tekken 8. Honestly, another one of those, I don't know. So I'm probably gonna do one of the four again. Look at the camera. I'm still trying not to look, but I'm still clicking generate. And one. Again. Okay, congrats, Dragon Ball. If it keeps getting one, I'm gonna keep generating. Okay, best family. For the best game appropriate for family play, irrespective of genre or platform. I'm gonna be brutally honest, Astro Bot. As much as, like, I could argue, like, maybe Super Mario Party Jamboree, I think that would probably be the second most likely. I think Astrobot still does a pretty good job at gameplay tutorial and stuff like that. They don't actually tell you how to play, they actually kind of showcase at the top left after a certain amount of time if you don't get it. So it's like, that's just way better than the other things here. At least from what I've seen. I'm gonna say Astrobot. Best sim/strategy, best game of real time, or turn-based strategy and gameplay, irrespective of platform. We have Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, Kitsune Gami, Path of the Goddess. I forgot that game released. From Capcom. Mana Lords and Unicorn Overlord. I think by how I did things, you can probably guess who I'm gonna choose. Now, this is a game that I kind of forgot too that came out this year. I'm so sorry. I have to give it to Unicorn Overlord. Unicorn Overlord is one of those games I completely forgot about. Just thinking about it now, I'm like, god damn. Like, that's actually a good runner-up against, Astrobot. But I would still probably put Astrobot ahead. But Unicorn Overload, oh, 100%. It's like you're taking Fire Emblem and, some, like, real-time strategy gameplay and just bashing them together to make a child. That's what you get, Unicorn Overlord. Best sports / racing. F1 24, EA Sports FC 25, NBA 2K25, Top Spin 2K25, WWE 2K24. Aside from F1 24, well, technically EA also. The rest are 2K. I can't say anything. This is not my horse race to bet on. You know what? I'm gonna go with WWE. Because at least that one looks like the most interesting one. And I've seen some, like, ones in the past that looked pretty cool. Even though I never played them. I'm gonna say WWE. The fake wrestling. Best multiplayer for outstanding online multiplayer gameplay and design, including co-op and massively multiplayer experiences irrespective of game genre or platform. Call of Duty, Helldivers, Super Mario, Tekken, and Warhammer. From what I've seen, if it wasn't for the fact of Sony, this would be this is a hard one, but if it wasn't for, like, if Sony didn't just try to do its thing, it's 100% Helldivers. I think from just, I haven't played the game, but from all the talk I've seen, boy, Helldivers 2 would be it. But because of all the issues the game's faced, this is the hard one. Because it's, aside from Helldivers 2, I don't know who would probably be higher, except for, like, Warhammer. I can see Warhammer. So I'm gonna say Helldivers 2. Even though Sony fucked it up, I'm still gonna say that. Okay, best adaptation. Recognizing outstanding creative work that faithfully and authentically adapts a video game to another entertainment medium. Where's Dark Knights? I'm just kidding. I'm kind of joking, because that was 2023. So might be. But, close enough. I'm talking about the Dark Knights anime. By the way, I will honestly 100% expect the Genshin Impact anime to be in this at one point. 100%. But definitely Dark Knights! Anyway. Dark Knights is like the very second mobile game to have an anime. The first was Azure Lane, but that is yet to get a second season. Just saying. Dark Knights has 2 seasons, and we'll be getting a third. Okay. I've heard a lot about Arcane. I've heard that Arcane killed the main game series. I've heard a lot about Fallout. I cannot say anything about Knuckles. I can't say anything about Like a Dragon Yakuza. Nor Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft. Lara Croft. I just kind of messed up that. So honestly, at this point, be 1 and 2. So I'm gonna randomly generate. Aim the camera. And 2. All out, congrats. Most anticipated game. This is stupid. I'm gonna say this straight up. This is stupid, but I can understand why they have this. Recognize and announce a game that has demonstrably illustrated potential to push the gaming medium forward. The fact that we see Ghost of Yotai is... yikes. I know a lot of people not liking Ghost of Yotai, the way direction it's going. I'm not a big Monster Hunter fan, for those in the Arknights community that knows. Even though, like, there's a little bit of a peak of interest, probably not. Metroid Prime 4, sorry, but no. Grand Theft Auto 6, nah. I've never been a crazy fan of the Grand Theft Auto series. Maybe. But I'm holding off until how people feel about it. But I can definitely see that being the winner. Ghost of Yotai, nah. I've liked Ghost of Tsushima a lot, but Yotai is... we'll have to see type games. And then Death Stranding 2 on the beach. I didn't realize that was actually the last of the name. I thought it was just Death Stranding 2. The one that they added on the beach. Now, just based off of... I think I've seen every single one of these games, first trailer. Funny enough. I think Death Stranding 2 wins. I'm just saying, for me anyway, because that even though I have not played the original, and I know how insane and crazy the first one is, out of all of them, I think Death Stranding 2 is probably the one that I'm the most interested in. So, I'm gonna go with that. After that would probably be Grand Theft Auto 6. But not like, it's like a 10 and a 90 or 100, essentially. In terms of interest. Like, I'm trying to make like a big difference between the two. Content Creator of the Year. I only recognize one of them, and even then I don't really care because I don't watch VTubers. And even then, I feel like there's other characters that did a better job than her. Sorry. Even though I'm not a VTuber watcher, I can at least acknowledge that other VTubers are a lot more popular. Never heard of this dude. Never heard of this dude. Never heard of this dude. He kind of looks familiar. Honestly, I don't give a fuck about any of these guys. Truth be told. But, if I had to choose, this guy looks familiar. And probably the VTuber, just to fuck with people. I really have no horse in this betting race. So... and you really have these as pictures? Like, guys, come on. And he says the best. It's funny because this guy has literally the best picture. Aside from the VTuber, just a VTuber, so. Yeah, I'm going with the VTuber. It doesn't actually show the... that's interesting. 26 out of 27. Best esports game. I'm gonna be brutally honest. I'm going for my friends here and saying Counter-Strike 2. I do not play any of these games. I don't know much about any of these games. I've played Legends before, like League of Legends, a little bit with my friends a long time ago. But overall, for my friends, Counter-Strike 2. Best esports athlete, I don't give a fuck about any of y'all. You're worse than the content creators. I'm sorry. Um, pictures. Who has the best picture? Honestly, 33 has the best picture. You guys look stupid. At this point, I'm just randomly choosing for stupid reasons. This really isn't anything mostly about games. It's just people playing games. Yeah, 33. There you go. Congrats, random person. And YouTube is being crazy as usual. Oh, you're not watching it. Do you want to continue? Yes. Same deal. No horse in this race I'm betting on, so I'm just do a random number generated this time because all of the all the pictures look trash. And looking at the camera, I am generating. Just kidding. Look at the camera. And 5. Team Liquid, congrats on random number generation. Woo-hoo! Okay, well, there we go. That's the rewards, voting stuff. Now there's also Play's voice. So I don't think I'm gonna worry about this, but I just wanted to do at least the 29 here and kind of get my thoughts. A lot of them were kind of just games, honestly. And there's not a lot to mention. Game of the Year side, and there's a few noteworthy games to mention. But overall, kind of lackluster. Granted, I know a lot of people say that that's kind of like a to be expected type of deal, type of thing. Like there wasn't like a lot of games for a lot of people this year. And the gaming in general has kind of been hitting rock bottom. But I think a lot of games people are missing out on, personally. Possibility. I know League of Legends has like a gigantic ass esports shindig, but I personally don't really care too much on what is the best. I'm just chose like what my friends play a lot that I notice. Anyway, I think that's really all there is to know. This is not like a super serious stream. I kind of talked about certain games. Like there was, I was kind of thinking I'll probably end up talking a lot more. Realistically, though, that didn't happen. We did talk a lot during the you know, the Game Award stuff, but all the others are honestly kind of boring, or just like, bro. Like, I couldn't really have much of a choice on. Like, if I had to say best fighting, it'd be a game that Order released a couple of years ago. So it's like, a lot of the games I haven't played, so I can't really say or be fair in voting for. So, but if I had to say, most of these went towards Astrobot for good reason. If I had to say be best game of the year, yeah, I would give it to Astrobot. Especially when it comes to music and audio, the gameplay feel, and just so many other things that I feel like I could go on and on about. There's some other good games out there too. I mean, I know I was kind of surprised to see and actually remember of where was it? Yes, Unicorn Overlord. I did kind of remember about Dragon Age 2. I will get back to that, as well as Unicorn Overlord. Unicorn Overlord, probably in the top 10 games this year. 100%. Actually, no, top 3. Top 3. Actually saying that. We have Astrobot, Unicorn Overlord. Who knows what the third spot is? Arknights, fuck it, there we go. A mobile game. I know I keep talking about it all the entire stream, but best mobile game, Arknights. What are we doing here? Where is it? Where is it? Best mobile game. Who the fuck was smoking choosing these options? Like, I had to choose Balturo because I don't know much about it. And these two sets of games get destroyed by Arknights. Like, there's a reason why, like, I don't care too much about these types of games. Because they only focus on the casual aspect. That's mostly it. Like, if you're a casual person, you think these games are fucking great. But if you want, like, an actual really good-ass, dead-ass mobile game, there's Arknights. There's the Battle Cats. There's probably more that they're out there that I'm probably forgetting to mention. It's literally at the tip of my tongue and I completely forgot about it. Like, there are so many good fucking mobile gacha games out there that Zenless Zone Zero, any Homoverse games, Wuthering Waves, get absolutely fucking creamed on. And then it's like, you see these games, because they're just well-known and casual, like. It is what it is, but it's so fucking stupid. Every time I see something like a Hoyoverse game, or now Wuthering Waves, or some random-ass high-quality animation game with good graphics, with a shitty-ass gacha system, ha, got ya! Come on, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm better than that at figuring out what a good gacha game and what's not a good gacha game. You can have the best graphics in the world, but if your gacha is so shit, no. No fake Grand Order, please. I'm not even mentioning fake Grand Order. I have played games that are similar in vein that did not get as popular, that kind of similar to that idea. I'm looking at Epic 7 here. I love Epic 7. There's a bit of nostalgia with it, truth be told. But I feel like that falls into the tries to be popular by making look pretty, but generally has like a really bad gacha system. And a mobile game, gacha game, the gacha system is the most important thing to get right, because it's everything for a gacha game. If you fail to get that properly, eventually the game, you're not gonna have fun with it. It's gonna be trash. You're gonna probably not feel like you want to go back into the game. I think that's another thing too. I'm mentioning the fact that like most mobile games, because of limiting stuff, it's hard to get back into the game to play it. So that's another thing to mention that may not help a lot. So I don't think that was the best way to phrasing it, honestly, thinking about that, because that's another important thing to know, but that's not really incorrect. Like, technically, you have the guaranteed gacha that eventually gets 60. Then you have the small pity. Granted, I can understand the viewpoint of like not having a higher base rate for 6 stars, but I don't think that really matters if it's really easy to get a 6 star. Like, there's a lot to a gacha system that it would literally take me a couple of hours just to go and find detail of why Arknights has the best gacha system, and why certain games did actually try to borrow from it. That is for a limited banner. That is for a limited banner for multiple characters. You're not even taking into consideration that's 150 for a normal standard banner, or 60 normally. Anyway, I'm not talking about the fact that it's so easy to get resources to go for a guarantee. Not necessarily. Especially, let's say if you started during, let's say, the new episode release. New episode release gives you sanity potions after 100 sanity use of, or every 200 sanity use, 80 sanity. So if you consider that, that's not really the case. It just comes down to what you have available. If you're a new player, a lot of other functions and things to take into consideration. There would be a lot of math involved. If you did already everything, then it would probably take you 6 months for 300 pulls, but 60 if you consider it limited, gives you 24 free. It would probably take you about 2 weeks to get a guaranteed 6-star, at least in a limited. I mean, there's a lot of things that I'm not taking consideration of the player. Like, did they do everything? Did they do all the, operator records? Did they do all the exchanges? Like, I think you're missing the point, because there's a lot of ways to get pulls. You're not taking consideration factory either. Like, there's a lot of ways to get Orendum without using Sanity. I could probably get about, like, over 10,000 Orendum right now if I did all the operator records. I might be overstating a little bit, because I haven't done the math. But there's a lot of Orendums that I don't actually touch that would take a bit. So I kind of disagree with that, actually. It just really comes down to, did the player do everything possible and manageable? I can bet you not. Especially with me, I can bet you not. Not taking consideration that you can farm for gold certificates in the recruitment, which you can get 40 summon for free from. I mean, well, with the operator records, I think you just need E2? You just need an E2. I think. I would have to go back and look at that. But again, there's like the recruitment stuff to get 40 free summons per month. And you can normally get 40 free summons by using yellow certificates, but you can farm those yellow certificates, which goes into another rant, and like, there's ways to get more summons that are a bit on the farmy side, but not impossible to do. I mean, you could do 4 stars. I think there's a decent amount of 4 stars they could do that with. I don't think it's as much resources, but that's I know. It just comes down to the player's account, where they are. Honestly, from my experience, it's the, what's it called? Like, I used to get it a lot, but I was like, no, I need to get red guarantee cleared through time tickets. We're gonna end the stream off here shortly, because I kind of, honestly, at this point, I think I talked about everything I wanted to talk about, and we did the voting system thing, so. Credit store. There we go. Credit store. Just for example, I have 2 of them available for me right now. That's literally the best way, from my experience. You can get them in other ways too, but like, from my experience and from what I've seen, like, if you haven't done your credit store stuff. I mean, obviously that's kind of an obvious. I think you can also get them with the certificates on accommodations. Yeah, you can get. So you can also get 20 of them through the normal green certificates. That's another one you can do. You can easily get a lot of accommodations. So to me, I don't think that's really a hard one to get either. Like 20 of them. Now, I'm not going to say Arknights is perfect. I think there's a lot of things they can improve upon. But the fact that I consider it the best gacha game, and for someone who has played most of the Hoyo vs. games, that's my viewpoint. Which I take that as you will. I strongly suggest playing it or trying it out. I think you'd be greatly surprised, especially with the story and the music. Oh, and talking about music, YouTube, they did their 2024 music thing where it kind of goes through like statistics with your music stuff. And there's one of them that they try to like figure out like you are in terms of like music feel. And then it's like almost like a kind of a guess of like who you, not necessarily who you are, but like your vibe with music essentially. Let me see if I can get it. Let me get to it. Music recap. I already got my recap, but I want to... I'm not going to show that. But there's one of them where it's like, what would you be? And I'm considered an enigma. The YouTube straight up cannot figure out what my musical tastes are. And that's because of Arknights. That just is a good explanation of how wide-ranging the tracks are in Arknights. The fact that YouTube can't figure out what I like. I'm an enigma. Straight up. Maybe some people might like certain tracks more than others, but Arknights OST, bro, you're not gonna get the... You are going to be surprised with the amount of tracks that are in Arknights. Anyway. At this point, I can talk about Arknights all day. I can talk about other stuff game-wise all day. Honestly, a lot of them I haven't even played. And I feel like a lot of them I actually kind of can give an idea of, but overall, honestly, I kind of talked about some of them of what I would say I would choose, even though a lot of them are just games I played in the past before. Anyway, I'm getting it off here. If you guys enjoyed today's live stream, make sure you subscribe/follow. Stream below is Discord, so please go check it out. Also, Yanif, before I can end the stream off here, I need to talk to you real quickly. We can do it on stream here. I know you were talking about the tickets. What were you talking about? The limited headhunting ticket? I know earlier in Discord you were talking about the 10th anniversary ticket. Were you talking about the limited headhunting ticket? Okay, yeah. Yeah, yeah. So essentially what I said before applies. The limited headhunting ticket is only available for that limited headhunting container. So if you did not use it, you pretty much wasted a 10 free pull. I know I kind of already said that before in Discord, but as a reconfirmation, yeah, that's essentially what happened. It kind of sucks a lot because you waste a little bit of resources. As I said, I kind of earlier before, you get 24 free pulls, 14 every single one summon every single day, which says 14, and then the 10 free pull, which is 24. So yeah, that kind of sucks to hear that you missed out on a free 10 pull. Okay. So that is what it is. Hopefully next time you use it, because it's free, you might as well. It's only for that banner. As a collection. RIP. Unfortunately, that's not the case, because I don't think you actually keep it at all. It's literally just something that's, I think, a time limit. Last time I checked, unless, I mean, can you even look in your collection to even verify that? Because, I mean, if that was the case, then you probably already noticed that it wasn't collecting it. Because at this point, it should have been gone. Anyway. That's all there is to know. So if you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, share, follow. The description below is Discord too, please go check it out. Aside from that, good luck summons, playing Trinity, be safe and be healthy, and I will see you all in... I don't know when I'm gonna stream next. This was kind of out of nowhere, but I did want to do a the 2024 Game Awards voting. I feel like I probably didn't do as good as I thought I was gonna do, but hey, I mean, showcase my thoughts, especially with certain games that are released and how I feel about them. Regardless, until next stream, which I'll let you guys know on Discord, whatever I decide to do. Peace.